So here I was in the middle of editing a video for a newer video that I'm coming out. Make sure you guys check that out when it comes out. Right now we have the DC slate for what James Gunn is doing with the DC, and I'd like to break it down. I saw like the first part of it, but I haven't seen the rest. I was like, okay, let me keep the rest as a surprise, and we'll break down and talk about it a bit as it goes along. I'm a little bit under the weather, so I apologize for my voice sounding a little bit off and seeming very low energy. I'm just not, I'm not in the greatest of states right now. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Hey everybody, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is out...
Okay, that's good that he's telling us that right off the bat, that he's like not saying like this is gonna be in this one's gonna be in this one, and blah blah blah. It's good that a lot of this stuff is gonna be relatively in the same universe for DC, which is gonna be very good for them considering they have a rap of not having connected movies and lots of well, let's just say piss poor movies that we've gotten in the last several years. So hopefully everything works out well, and we'll see what he's doing. I can't tell if it's going to be a full reboot or if it's going to be a slight reboot. We'll have to see. But ultimately, I'm liking what I'm hearing so far. We're going to see what he announces in this thing. I already know he announces as the first movie, but I'm just going to pretend like I hadn't heard that.
Side of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU.
So Batman's staying separate.
Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that...
Okay, so what he's basically saying right here is basically all those movies that were previously shot right now, like Shazam, or The Flash, or Blue Beetle, or Aquaman, those are going to come out. But then what's going to happen is, I'm assuming The Flash is going to be the reset. Like, what they're going to probably do is have him do something in that movie that resets everything after the release of Blue Beetle, right? Or maybe Blue Beetle might be working into the new DCU. We'll have to see what he's doing with that. But ultimately, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a full-on reboot. But we'll have to see. That remains to be seen with this announcement, right?
I really love that resets the entire DC universe. Then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about.
First one, I heard this one.
Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television.
This one's interesting.
This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now, what I'm about to tell you is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter.
I'll get my thoughts.
The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series I've written.
Okay, so it's interesting that he's going in the direction of animated stuff. So it seems like from what I can tell, what he's announcing in this first one, because I've seen this first announcement, was that they're going to be doing what Marvel is doing in regards to they're doing some animated projects that are going to be somewhat connected to their live action projects. Now he said in this one, and he'll say it when I play it, that the actors who are voicing these characters are going to be in the live action movies as well. So that's going to be very interesting that he connects stuff like that together. And ultimately, this is going to be an interesting introduction to the phase. From what I can tell.
All the episodes, something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action. The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that...
Okay, so it's not a full-on reboot. Okay, that just right there just confirmed it. Because if it was a full-on reboot, they were going to cast someone else different for Amanda Waller. But the fact that he said it's a member of, you know, Team Peacemaker, that just shows that this is a slight reboot with what they're doing. So they're replacing certain characters and keeping certain characters, which probably confirms my suspicions that Zachary Levi, Jason Momoa, and some of these other actors are probably going to end up staying in the current incarnation of the DCU, which I think may be a slight poor choice considering the fact that if you're going to get rid of some of the main actors, such as Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, or Gal Gadot, you probably should get rid of everybody, not to upset the fans, but hey, we'll see what he does with this, and we'll see what the announcement is. Maybe he'll make up for that with the announcements, but yeah, Viola Davis, I guess I'm not too upset about that due to the fact that she is a perfect Amanda Waller, and we'll have to see what they do with that.
It's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it. Okay, next up is a big one, the true beginning of the DCU.
Superman?
This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025. Okay, the next thing is a big premiere.
Okay. So we're getting our young Superman story, which I know a lot of people were pissed off about Henry Cavill, and I am too a little bit to an extent, but we're getting a younger Superman story where he's already pre-established in Metropolis, but he's still young. He's still somewhat new at this job, so I'm assuming this is maybe Superman year 2. And this is going to be very interesting. It's going to be more of a bright and sunny Superman story from what I understand. And it's going to be nice to see maybe the more Boy Scout version of the character. It's going to be interesting that they're finally putting Superman as the base of the story, as he rightly should be. I mean, he was the first superhero created in DC Comics, so yeah, this is a good sign. This is a really good sign, so let's keep going.
Mere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns,
yes,
John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other Lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU. Next is a big movie.
Okay, so from what he said there, we're getting our Green Lantern buddy cop series that we heard announced years ago that was going to be a part of the original DCU universe. They're doing it in this version, and that's a smart decision because they can also introduce other characters that are from space into the larger DCU and not have it be super convoluted. Especially as being a TV series, there's more opportunity to do more with that story. And seeing a buddy cop story with Green Lanterns is already a good sign. It's already a good sign because they're space cops, and why wouldn't you take advantage of that? So anyways, let's keep going.
Called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is a story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like...
Okay, and I see Wonder Woman in the corner. So they're doing this to slowly introduce the Trinity into the new DCU. So they're introducing the Trinity as the base into it. This is a good start. And it's a story about Themyscirians, and Amazons. So this is going to be a very interesting series. I don't know if Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman have met each other in this incarnation. I'm assuming they have. But that's just an assumption, and we'll have to see what happens going forward. But so far, I'm being sold.
of Thrones with Westeros, but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU. Next up is a TV series called...
Okay, yeah, Booster Gold, whatever. Brave and the Bold. Wow, the most surprising announcement. When he said Brave and Bold, I thought he meant it was going to be like Aquaman and Blue Beetle and all these other characters, you know, that kind of like the Brave and Bold comics where it was Batman teaming up with different heroes and stuff like that. But no, they're going off like the New 52 Brave and the Bold, Batman and Robin, where it's like Batman and Damian Wayne. Which, this would be the third movie incarnation of Robin that we would see in a movie, like a full theater release movie. Which, that's awesome, considering the fact that Robin's a very underrated character, very underappreciated, and he deserves more in the DCU. And the fact that we're getting the introduction of the Bat family, Nightwing, is probably going to be in this movie as a cameo. Might even get other references to character like Batgirl and stuff like that. But that remains to be seen. But yes, that's a really good, really good announcement. So let's hear it, Booster Gold.
Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series.
Yep.
One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Oh,
and so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film.
Okay.
Now,
so they're doing a Supergirl movie. Okay, that's cool. I mean, I feel like they probably should throw someone else in, but like you're stating, I don't know. Like, I wonder if this is like a part of the main continuity. Like, there's more I want to hear from them. I don't know if this should be like all of the lineup, but we'll have to see. But Supergirl is a very bold choice, considering the fact that so far we haven't gotten an announcement for a Wonder Woman solo movie yet. So we will have to see what happens with that, right?
Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way, so she's a much more jaded character.
Okay.
And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last thing we're going to talk about, a very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway, those...
Okay, so basically they're doing a horror... So as you guys probably noticed, my camera stand was slowly tilting, which means everything just fell out for no reason, and I have to continue my train of thought. So we were at Swamp Thing, right? So Swamp Thing, that's an interesting one because they're going to be doing more DC horror, which is going to be interesting. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, they'll have more balls than Marvel has with their horror, so let's keep going.
One of the stories that I can tell you about right now, I've loved the DC characters since I was a child.
Sorry, Gunn, I don't mean to interrupt your awesome speech. So he said that's all he can announce now. So there's probably going to be more that's announced as time goes along. So that's what I was curious about. I was like, that's kind of bold that they're doing a solo Supergirl movie and not a Wonder Woman movie or anything else. So I'm glad that he made that statement because there's more to come, right? So let's see what else he has to say. He's given the speech. I love to hear directors and other people's passionate speeches.
They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV
Never gotten a Damian Wayne live action.
The director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique and something special. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was exciting for you because it's really exciting for me. And I can't wait to start to dive into these stories with you guys on this grand adventure. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Gunn. All right. So we've gotten our DC lineup so far. It looks very promising. A lot of aspects there. Superman seems like a very bold idea with a younger Superman. I'm very excited to see that. And a Batman and Damian Wayne movie are the two highlights that I saw from that. And some other interesting ideas and series that they can slowly introduce stuff in there. I'm glad that they're not right off the bat going, hey, we're doing a Justice League movie, you know, because then it's like, okay, you guys are trying to speed run it again for Marvel. And I'm glad that they're not doing that. They're taking their time a bit more. And it's going to be very exciting to see what they do with this overall projects. So, what did you guys think of the lineup? Is it something that you guys are particularly interested in? What are your guys' thoughts with this? Is this something that James Gunn can completely handle? And are you excited to see what DC has in store in the future? Comment below, let me know. As always, if you guys liked the video, make sure to subscribe today to join the Isolation.